I'm going blind as I look up here right now. And we are all about, because darkness is deemed to be bad. But here's the thing, church. Sometimes there's things that we learn in the dark that we could never learn in the light. You know that old phrase, have you ever heard this before? Don't forget in the dark what God taught you in the light. I almost think we should flip that. And we should say, don't forget in the light what God has taught you in the dark. Because sometimes in those seasons of darkness, those wilderness moments that we're going to read about in a moment here, in those times when we feel like we're in a desert, are the times when we learn most about God and his love and the fact that he is with us and he is for us. So often we try to make sense of life apart from God, independent of him. And it's like we're just banging our heads against the wall hard, head soft, not a good thing to do. But we try to make sense of life without God because we don't hear his voice. And we think, are you really here? Do you really care? Do you really see? I love this passage because it teaches us that God hears and sees and cares. So let's quickly look into this. The story, remember? The children of Israel were living in the promised land and there was a famine. And God raised up Joseph through really unique circumstances. His brothers didn't treat him well, but God had a bigger plan in mind. And Joseph became the number 2 person in Egypt. It was the Pharaoh, the king, and then it was Joseph. And Joseph was able to invite his brothers and his father to come to Egypt so that they could survive the famine and be spared. And then they stayed in Israel, or in Egypt, and they were blessed, and they became powerful and strong. And then years and years and years later, when everybody forgot, there was a Joseph, there was a Pharaoh, a king, who said, I don't like the Israelites, I want to get rid of them. He tried to kill them, he wanted to stop them, he made them work hard, they were slaves. And it was a really, really difficult time for the children of Israel. They were living in a foreign land, and they were servants, and they were ruthlessly taken care of, treated, not taken care of at all, actually. And in that time, a little baby boy was born to a Levite woman, and she named him Moses. And we know that at that time that the Pharaoh